Hi, John from York Bay Financial Partners, looking at the investment markets. Trump has pulled the trigger on the next round of trade tariffs with China. He's imposed a 10% tariff on around $200 billion worth of goods, and that's going to increase to 25% by early 2019. China has sort of counteracted by imposing tariffs on around 60 billion of US goods. So, some people might just say, looking at the raw numbers, that, maybe Trump's got the upper hand. Well, what is pretty interesting is this, is that, what we're really looking at is a major change to the global sort of supply chain. It's not just the finished goods that come into the US from China. A lot of them are sort of intermediaries and sort of componentry goods that are then used to make items in the US for sale in the US or maybe export. So it'll just be very interesting to see how this sort of global supply chain sort of pans out given these trade tariffs going through. Some may even argue this is a sort of last desperate attempt for Trump to get back on sort of the front foot as we head into the midterms, because certainly the Republican Party are doing pretty poorly, and it's so widely expected that they will lose the House and possibly the Senate as well. Also, as well, obviously with Trump, he's facing fresh pressure as well. Is a Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh is now facing allegations of sort of sexual misconduct. So it will be very interesting to see if Trump manages to get his nomination through Congress. On the data side, the non-farm payrolls are very strong again at the beginning of the month. That all points to the Fed increasing interest rates again at the end of this month. And given the trade tariffs weren't probably as high as most people anticipated, that looks pretty well baked in, that Fed move. Also as well, the move at the end of December as well. The only caveat on the December hike would be, the sort of trade tariffs, and by then we should have a little bit of a clearer picture to see what the impact of the trade tariffs are, but also as well the ongoing sort of talks. If there's actually any progress in that, and potentially a sort of solution coming towards the end. A little bit of talk on Brexit as well, getting down really to the wire now. Theresa May is trying to put her proposals through the UK Parliament. There's certainly quite a bit of opposition, not just from our own party, but obviously from the Labour opposition. The sort of pro-Brexit engineers are really trying to sort of hammer a sort of a hard deal. What was interesting, a recent report from the IMF sort of came out and said, really whatever sort of deal comes up with Brexit, the UK is going to be worse off. You know, certainly at present it's tough to see how there's going to be a good outcome for the UK economy. I suspect there are going to be some pretty rough times ahead. And then it's just a question of sort of grinding through those rough times and then sort of coming out the other side. And also as well, obviously, how long it lasts. Oil's got a nice little upkick. It looks like OPEC are not going to increase production. So that sort of keeps supply on a sort of an even keel at present. And I say as we head into the northern hemisphere winter, demand's going to start to pick up. So there's a nice little pickup there in prices, getting back towards that $70 on WTI. Here in New Zealand, another bond offer, properties for industry, 7-year. Minimum rate will be 415. Indicative rate is sort of set currently, will be a little bit higher than that, around sort of 417 to 427. You suspect it probably comes at the lower end of that range. Now, if you are interested in that, say call us on 0800 867 323. Also, a little bit of talk about the Tilt takeover as well from Mercury and Infratel. Northington have come out with a report. That value's tilted sort of 256 to around 301. Mid price 279. That compares with the offer price that Mercury and Infratel are offering of $2.30. Which obviously gives maybe a clear indication of why the independent directors suggested that you reject the offer. And it's now just going to be very interesting to see if Infratel and Mercury come back with a revised offer. Because certainly, a mid price of sort of $2.79 versus, say, the offer price that they're offering of $2.30, there's quite a bit of distance between that. And you suspect they have to come back with an offer pretty close to that sort of $2.80 or above before you start to see investors looking about taking up the offer. As well, if you are looking for income options, plenty of alternatives available out there. Of course, at 0800 867 323, or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz for lots of interesting articles, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.